Welcome back, everyone, after lunch. Thanks for the enthusiasm, sir. Moving onward to our next session, that is Neuroscience of Learning, Optimizing Training for Maximum Output. Introducing our speaker, Ms. Seema Sarawgi, Head of Learning and Development at BharatPe. Ms. Sarawgi has 13 years of experience in learning and development, human resource strategy, operations, and management consulting. She is passionate about helping people develop through interventions, coaching, counseling, and finding sustainable solutions for personal and professional growth. A huge round of applause for Ms. Seema Sarawgi.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry that I had to take this session after lunch, and I can already see this energy not at the optimum level in the room, but I'll try to keep my session very brief, and actually I did that. It's quite short, so bear with me, and I'll try to make it as engaging and less boring, like as much interesting as possible. So Neuroscience of Learning, Maximizing Training Impact. So thank you so much for introducing me. I'm Seema. I head the Learning and Development vertical at BharatPe. And before we move ahead, too many things, yeah, okay. Before we move ahead by explaining this, to further explain this topic, I want to give you a background that why do we need to talk about this topic? Like, why have we chosen this topic in this forum today? So as per a study by Deloitte, I was studying that only 1% of employees' workday is spent on in learning new skills. And it is just not the availability of free time which is at stake, but also the limited attention span of employees. And this attention span is further diminishing with the advent of, so much of technological innovation. We were also talking about that in the earlier sessions, and with the fast-changing business environment. So now organizations need to further enhance their training programs by engaging the employees into their training programs and make the learning more sustainable and impactful. So what do we do now? So L&D professionals can greatly benefit through the use of neuroscience by applying neuroscience principles in their learning programs. And that is what we would be talking about in our session today. So we would be talking about what neuroscience is actually and what's the role of learning in neuroscience. We would also understand and reflect on how our brain operates while we learn something new, and what can we do and what can we implement in learning when we design our learning programs from the way our brain operates. What can we learn from that? Then I would be talking about some practical strategies that we can adopt, the neuroscience strategies that we can adopt in enhancing our learning programs. Some real-life industry examples, including what we are doing at BharatPe, how we are using neuroscience in our learning programs. So first of all, neuroscience. So what is it? It is the study of how our brain processes, retains, and applies information. And now, increasingly, there has been a lot of study, a lot of research, and you must have come across so many examples wherein L&D professionals are increasingly using brain science principles, brain-friendly methods in their training programs to further enhance their learning outcomes, and which helps in retention, the retention of learning in the learning programs. Sorry for that. And usage of learning in the field of neuroscience has given the term of neuro-learning, which is a new concept in the field of learning and development. So now let us, as I was mentioning that, before we delve into the strategies which we can adopt, let us also understand how our brain processes information or operates when we come into contact with new information. So there are three main principles: neuroplasticity, emotional engagement, and attention and focus. So neuroplasticity is the mechanism. So you know that whenever a plastic, it has a tendency to take any form or shape under heightened repetition. So in the same manner, our brain also functions when we come into contact with new information, and if that information is repeated and practiced, it goes into our long-term memory. It helps in retention. The second is emotional engagement, wherein emotions, the positive emotions, play a huge role, which provides extra boost and energy to the brain. And by creating emotionally engaging training programs and learning environment, helps the brain to release neurotransmitters like dopamine, and makes the brain more receptive in taking more information. Again, helps in learning more, retention of memory, and also motivates the brain to further learn and eagerness to learn more and more. And third is attention and focus, which again aligns with the limited attention span that brain has, and I already spoke about how that is further diminishing. And that delves us into how we can deliver manageable and bite-sized pieces, which helps the brain in recalling the information faster, and again helps in memorizing the information, rather than just having an information overload. So understanding about the field of neuroscience and how our brain operates when it learns something new, what are some of the practical strategies that we can incorporate while designing our training programs? And I'm sure when you see or when you hear these strategies that I'm going to talk about, you would realize that, "Arey, ye to hum karte hi hain." So you would also see that, you may find it very obvious. But when you actually, now, you understand the importance of something, importance of neuroscience, that would greatly benefit you. And, when you design your training programs for having more impact in your training programs. So the first strategy is active learning, wherein you engage the participants through making the training programs more relatable by having real-life scenarios, examples. You can do that by discussions, hands-on exercises, case studies, simulation exercises. The second is micro-learning. We already spoke a lot about it, like how, breaking down the learning information into manageable bite-sized chunks, which helps the brain in easy recall. The third is visual storytelling, which talks about how you can use visual techniques to make information more relatable and memorable, and that's how the brain learns. The brain processes visuals more effectively than raw data. The fourth is feedback loop, which says that, if you use regular feedback mechanisms, which helps the participants to learn how they are progressing while they are learning something, so that further motivates the brain to learn more and improve more. The fifth is spaced repetition. So this comes from the principle wherein brain has a tendency to forget information. So when you have this mechanism in your training programs, wherein you have regular reviews, check-ins, so it further helps in memorizing and retaining the information that you are trying to impart. And the sixth is immersive experiences, again, creating a lot of real-life experiences. So there's a lot of talk about virtual reality, augmented reality. So that also, coupled with mimicking real-life experiences, can help your training programs to a great deal to make a significant impact. So some real-world examples. Before I talk about what we are doing at BharatPe, I also, I was doing my research, like what other organizations are doing, and some few examples that I would like to share here are, so IBM greatly uses the principles of, neurosciences in their sales techniques. So having active learning through quizzes, assessments, which helps in better product knowledge and improved sales performance. The employees are able to enhance their sales techniques also through the principles of neuroscience. Salesforce, which is a CRM organization, I'm sure many of you know about this. So they widely use the concept of neuroselling by using storytelling, emotional engagement to further build rapport with their, their customers, which improves customer satisfaction and also enhances their sales revenue and growth. So at BharatPe, we've been using, I was talking to a fellow participant here. So how, like, it's just been like I have now closely like completed 2 years in the organization, and literally we have transformed the whole learning journey at BharatPe. And now when I look back, like we have used a lot of neuroscience techniques by by ensuring that whatever we deliver, be it a 2-hour program, 3-hour, virtual, 1-day programs, we involve our business leaders in curating the training programs, and we make sure that all examples, case studies are very relatable, real life based, so employees are more able to relate to it and they are further engaged in the learning programs. One particular program that I would like to talk about, which many organizations also, particularly find it complicating or they find it challenging, is the POSH. So until last year, we used to have a 2-hour, 1.5 to 2 hours virtual training programs on POSH. And we found that it was like, when we took the feedback from the employees, they did not find it very engaging. The attention span was very limited. And because it was a compliance-related training, we couldn't ignore it and we had to do something about it. So then what we did, we developed a 10-minute interactive video through animations and voiceover with our external expert. So without compromising on the policies and the know-hows of POSH. So we developed a 10-minute video. We circulated the video to the entire organization. And after that, to further engage the employees and to check the retention level, we designed a quiz through an AI bot. So it was an interactive quiz testing the knowledge of the employees on the POSH, the policies, everything about redressal mechanisms, provisions, and everything. So it was quite interactive, and there was 100% participation of our employees. So we were 800 then. So 800 employees took that quiz, and we also took a feedback, and they found it very, very engaging and interactive. So that's how we use neuroscience in our learning programs. So to sum up, as I promised, I've kept it very short. So 3 main principles of neuroscience: neuroplasticity, which is repeat the information, practice the information to make the brain memorize the information. The second is emotional engagement, wherein you create engaging environment by having real-life examples, making the training programs more relatable. And third is attention and focus. You try not to have information overload on the training programs that you are going to impart. Make it more manageable, bite-sized. Basically, you have to understand the objective of your training programs before, deciding what to do. So this is what I had to say. Thank you so much. Any questions? Most welcome. Yeah, please. So bite size, I said that we have circulated this 10-minute, like we've created this 10-minute video, and that at regular intervals, we also check, like so for our new joinees, we go and impart this training program. So we have an internal complaints committee. So the members go and impart the 10-minute video, like show and then ask question answers. Then we do that again with the AI bot quiz. So that's how we do for POSH. New employee induction also, particularly for POSH you're talking about? We have some employees who are based out of Gurgaon, so they join us online. But what we realized, like, having it entirely virtual, like, you have to understand the purpose. So it would not help in better retention. So we have everything here in Gurgaon, and 2-3 employees, they join us online. So that's how, but it's all in person that we're doing for the induction right now. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. No, excellent question, and it's a very lovely question and very relevant. So, giving you an example from my recent experience at BharatPe, so what we've started doing for all the trainings, like particularly for day-long trainings, we create a group of employees from that particular training programs. So we have a regular check-in, a review kind of a check-in after 1 month, 1.5 months, wherein the group comes together and learns or discusses what they retain from the training program. Have they applied anything? Have they seen any changes? What are the challenges they faced? And they debate. So that's what we've been doing, and this has really worked well. We've tried doing it for 2 such programs, and we received excellent feedback. And this also then builds more rigor in the employees that, it's just not a training program ki gaye aur ho gaya, but it's a continuous process. Yeah. Yeah, please, thank you.
I request if we have any further Q&A to please continue it in the networking break.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, we can connect after this. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Ms. Seema Sarawgi, for delving into the psychology of learning and development. I request Mr. Anuj Saxena from BharatPe to please join us on the dais and felicitate Ms. Seema Sarawgi.